And welcome, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Marilyn's Cafe Society radio show. Right here on YouTube. Today is Saturday. It's January 18th, 2020. And how are you? How are you? How's your week been? Your month? The year so far? Well, it's been great for me so far, so good. But I have to tell you, winter is trying to settle in here. In fact, I think here in the Chicagoland area, we've gotten anywhere from 1 inch to 4 inches of snow, depending on where you live. So, that's a reality. And every winter, I say, this is my last winter here in the Midwest. So we'll see. But aside from the weather, all is well. Yeah, you had a good week too. I'm glad you did. We have a lot to cover in the show. It's going to be one of those quick shows. At radio, we were on 2, sometimes 3 hours, right? But of course, YouTube is a bit different with the video and all of that. So the show seems to be a bit shorter compared to radio. All right, so I guess the good news in all of that is that there won't be any dead air. Alrighty, so real quickly, as I stated, today is January 18th, 2020, and we'll take a look on some of the historic things that happened on this day in history. It was back in 1986 that Martin Luther King Jr. Day was first celebrated as a national holiday. Now, of course, it took longer for all 50 states to celebrate the holiday. There were some states that just did not want to. In fact, in 1986, only 17 states had actually adopted Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a national holiday. So it took another 7 years or so for all 50 states to observe Martin Luther King Day as a national holiday. Yeah, I think that was 1993 when, all the states participated. And rightfully so. That man accomplished so much in his short life. 33 years he lived, and the world is better for his living. All right, in 1995, on this day in history, a little known domain by the name of yahoo.com was created. Wow, 25 years? Isn't that something? Well, anyway, Yahoo, as we all know, is known for its it's known globally for its web portal, its search engine, Yahoo Mail, Yahoo News, email, and so much more. But there's a cute little story to this .com that I want to share with you. It's a backstory. So here it is. It started back in January of 1994, actually, when Jerry Yang and David Philo were electrical engineering graduate students at Stanford University. And they created a website named Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web. Now, the site was a directory of other websites organized in hierarchy as opposed to a searchable index of pages. And by March of 1994, Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web was renamed Yahoo. And of course, as mentioned at the start of this, the yahoo.com domain was created on this day in history. Now, here's how the name Yahoo came about. It's a backronym to this expression, yet another hierarchically organized oracle, yet another hierarchically organized oracle, or yet another hierarchical officious oracle. Now, the term hierarchical described how the Yahoo database was arranged in layers of subcategories, and the term oracle was intended to mean a source of truth and wisdom, and the term officious, instead of being related to the words original or normal meaning, it was used to describe the many office workers who would use the Yahoo database while surfing from work. Now, this story sounds good, right? Sounds very intelligent how the word came to be, Yahoo. But listen, there's this rumor that has it that Philo and Young, or I should say Yang, insisted that they mainly selected the name Yahoo because they liked the slang definition of the expression. Apparently, Yahoo was used by college students in David Philo's native Louisiana in the late 1980s and early 1990s to refer to an unsophisticated rural southerner. Interesting, right? I never heard the expression. Well, Yahoo for us, Midwesterners at least, was like a celebratory expression. Yahoo! But apparently in Louisiana, college students were using it to refer or reference an unsophisticated rural southerner. So that's how they say, or that's why they say, partially, the reason they selected the expression Yahoo for their .com. Interesting, interesting. I tell you, I tell you. All right, and so we'll continue on with no business news. Actually, the only business news that I want to share is the fact that I've been hit in the past week or so with ads, online ads, and I guess sneak peeks, initially sneak peeks of Adidas. You know, Adidas is now in partnership with Beyonce, and apparently her new line of Adidas apparel and sneakers was released or unveiled, and so I've been bombarded with pictures and video of some of the unique pieces. I tell you, stunning, stunning pieces, very creative. I think Adidas knocked it out of the box with this, and it's going to be interesting to see how well they do as a result of their partnership with Beyonce. So I can't wait. Of course, her line is called, it's part of her Ivy Park line. So, but of course, in partnership with Adidas. So check it out. I think I'm going to get me some now. You know, I talked about this a few months ago when we first read that story that Adidas and Beyonce had a partnership and that she was working on a new line through her Ivy Park business. But, you know, and I shared that I'm pretty much a Nike girl, though sometimes I'll venture out and get some other athletic wear from other brands. I'm pretty much a brand loyalist, but I think because I love Beyonce, who doesn't love Beyonce? And her creativity, and you know, the team behind her who helps her with her creativity, I believe that I'm going to check them out and maybe get a pair and try some of the apparel as well. So it's under her Ivy League brand if you're interested in doing so. That just, you know, was random at the top of my brain when I hit this business, because I had not planned to do business news, but I do want to read the stock market report. As of the close of the market on Friday, January 17th, 2020, the Dow was up. Did you hear about this historic year that the stock market had? They surpassed 29,000 this week. And by the close of business on Friday, the Dow was up 50.46 points to another record-breaking 29,348.10 points. The NASDAQ was also up 31.81 points to 9,388.94, and the S&P 500 was also up a positive 12.81 points to 3,329.62 points. Wonderful, wonderful news. Now, some of the gainers on the stock market include Qualcomm Inc. They were up to $95.91 per share. Citizens Financial was up $40.87. Conagra Brands was up $33.33. Yum Brands was also up $105.40. Now, those who were struggling include Expeditors, International, they were down a negative 4.52. CDW Corp was down a negative 7.35. It looks like Hewlett Packard was down just a few cents, 67.67, and JB Hunt was down a negative 5.808, I should say. Gold was also down to $1,193.71, and oil was up 29 cents to $58.81. All right. So listen, transitioning to Cafe Talk. I don't know if you guys checked out the blog this week, but we, I talked about part two to my last blog, which was um, about, you know, um, just reflecting on last year and your goals. Did you meet your goals and all of that? So part two, the blog from this past week, was a follow-up in which I shared some of the quote-unquote accomplishments or gains that I had in the last year, and I pretty much shared that they weren't gains at all. I either maintained or just slightly improved in some areas of my life. When I was challenged by mentors, for those who know me know that I'm always looking for ways to self-improve. I have what I call spiritual mentors that I seek out in different forms, depending on the relationship. Some of the most impactful, though, have been online and, of course, via email. But one of them had talked about, sent out a message about his journey in terms of self-reflection for the past year, and how it hit him that he really needed to look beyond the past year and just over his life in general. And so that inspired me to do the same. And so I kind of went back to childhood, went back some 40 years, just reviewing and reflecting on my life. And I listed, the things that I hoped for myself by the year 2020 from, being a kid, and, looked at where I was now in life and all that I had experienced and or maybe accomplished. And so I shared that in this past week's blog. And so the Cafe Talk is related to that, because I wrapped it up with the teaser that on today's show we were going to actually look at ways that we can reset our year, our life. And one way was to look at the why, to understand the why in our life. And again, the inspiration behind this came from a couple individuals that I consider friends and mentors. And so they talked about the why in life, and why it was so important and significant to understand your why. And for me personally, it was, looking over the last 40 years, why did I see myself from a child being happily married with 2 to 4 children? Where did that come from? What was my why behind all of that? And being a kid, maybe it's because of what we saw in our immediate environment, or in other arenas of our lives, or maybe it was just something that God innately put within us, right? He did put man on earth to replenish the earth and multiply and rule the earth. So perhaps, and of course, we know, scripturally, he did not create man to be alone, man meaning mankind. So maybe it was something innate within me that wanted to grow up and have a partner in life, and to have a family with that partner and so forth. And that was my why, right? Kind of deep, but that was my why. to be fruitful and multiply. I think. I believe that's it. And so I achieved that, and it's quite meaningful when you think about it. What was your why? And then in terms of my career goals and business goals and other things that I wanted to accomplish in life, what was my why from a kid? Perhaps it was again something innate within me, that just wanted to grow up and have these things and have some control over my life. Or perhaps as I got older and stuck with those ideas of what I wanted my life to be like, maybe it was because I wanted to make money and be successful and be able to buy things. But as my mentors and friends challenged me to go deeper and deeper and deeper, I think the core why of all of this is because one, you want to be in control of your life, right? You want to have that control and to have some freedom. And also, you want to be a blessing to your family and others in life. You want to be in a position where you can help others. And, no matter what the need is, to have the resources under your control to be able to be a help to those person. And we can even go deeper with that why. Um, but for the sake of the show, we're not. But these are just some things for you to think about as you assess things and try to figure out your why. Why do you want to do what you want to do? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you get up in the morning? What's your why? And so I think that is it. But then one of the mentors even went a step further and challenged me to go to family and friends and ask them, why do you love me? Why are you thankful that I'm in your life? Now that's deep. And write down the responses that you get or ask them to write it as opposed to verbally tell you. And then review that and see how that lines up with your own why. Or maybe those responses will help you dig a little deeper to your own why. And once you hit that, it's going to really motivate you and charge you to really, 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 really work hard to come closer to the things that you want to achieve and obtain in life. I honestly think so. So, that's the cafe talk. What is your why? And thank you to those special people. They know who they are. Thank you for that challenge and for planting that seed and for helping me to dig a little deeper and why you're doing what you want to do. And if you kind of go back and read some biographies of some of the most successful people in life, what we consider successful, the people who really make the money and have material possessions and all of that. When you go and read about their lives and what their motivation was to get to where they are today, if they're honest, they'll tell you what their why was. And it's more than just becoming a millionaire or a billionaire or to have all of these material possessions. A lot of times it's motivated out of a place of pain, out of a place of lack and not wanting to live a life of lack, and coming from a place of just wanting to be positioned in life where they can help others. So anyway, I wanted to share that, and if you will get it posted on the social media, Twitter, Facebook, maybe even some of my other more professional social media that I'm on. Maybe I'll post it there, but definitely Facebook and Twitter will get it posted, and even here on the YouTube channel. And if you want to share your why, I would love to hear from you. So that's our cafe talk. Unfortunately, I did not get to post it ahead of this show. Otherwise, I would have some people call in at this time to share their why during the recording of the show, but that didn't happen. So just, well, you can still call if you want to call 815-593-1695 or text your why, or even email your why to Maryland's Cafe Society at yahoo.com. All right. All right, so that's Cafe Talk. We'll wrap this up with some real brief entertainment news. I was so surprised to hear this earlier in the week that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2020 is not this one. This one doesn't surprise me. Depeche Mode, or Depeche Mode. Never heard of them, but it must be a rock group. I love all music and can appreciate rock, but I don't really follow rock like that. And then the Doobie Brothers, I know them very well. But here's the surprise. Whitney Houston is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2020. She's not a rock musician. She's not known as a rock musician, mostly pop and R&B and soul and even gospel. But I think her contribution to music in general, along with her one-of-a-kind singing voice and all of the success and accomplishments that she made, and contributions that she made to the music industry and the world at large, and then her lifestyle, I guess, was that of a rock star, and so that was enough for her to be inducted. Also, Nine Inch Nails was inducted, and then this was the other surprise. The Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 2020. Again, we all know that he was a rap and hip hop star, but he was so huge, huger than life, right? So it makes sense. And also Rex John Landau is being inducted along with Irving Ashoff, who the both of them will be receiving the Ahmet Ertegun Award. So congratulations to the class of 2020 and the induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And last but not least, folks, remember next Sunday, January 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Channel 2 CBS here locally, the 62nd annual Grammys Award Show is set to air. So we'll take a closer look next week at some of the performers and nominees. All right. And last but not least, I just got to put this out there because you might want to get some help with advertising, promoting, or just some exposure on your business, your service, your product, your brand, whatever it is that you're doing. Or maybe you just like Maryland's Cafe Society and you want to be a supporter. You can certainly do so. We do want to try to do the 12 months Christmas giveaway. So if you want to help with that as well, we certainly ask you to reach out to producer at marylandscafesociety.com, producer at marylandscafesociety.com, and we'll certainly get more information to you regarding those opportunities. All right, it's been a pleasure, everybody. But before we go, I do again once again want to encourage you to check out Twitter from time to time. It's Maryland's Cafe Social on Twitter, Facebook, Maryland's Cafe Society on Facebook, of course the blog, Maryland's Cafe Society on WordPress, and right here, the YouTube channel, Maryland's Cafe Society on YouTube. And before we go, I gotta just tell you what love is. And love is, for this particular week, is one I made up. Love is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, right? And just the person himself and all that he achieved and did for the world, and especially people of color. All right? And this is that song that we're going to be hearing a lot of today, tomorrow, and of course on Monday. This is that song that Stevie Wonder wrote to help inspire the government to get behind the notion of making Dr. Martin Luther King Day as a national holiday. So here it is. That's what love is today, all right? Remember, folks, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. As always, it's a pleasure and a privilege, and I look forward to doing this with you again next week. Peace, everybody.